Hello, Miss Melissa. Here. Hello, Miss Melissa. Are you there? Hello.
Good afternoon, dear participants. Let's wait, I guess, for some.
Sorry?
Yes.
Wait. Can you speak louder, please?
Can you hear me now? Is it okay?
Can you make it louder?
Louder?
Yeah, okay. Okay, it's clear now.
Okay, let me just clear earphones. Maybe it will be louder.
Okay.
So is it okay now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. So I need some kind of tools.
Okay. Do you want to share the slide? Maybe you want to give it a try first.
Okay. So can you make me co-organizer?
Okay, sure.
Mr. Ahmed Yusuf.
Okay, done.
Okay, thank you so much, co-organizer. Okay, so we have got 22 participants.
Okay.
22 participants now so far.
We have got 22 participants.
Mhm.
I think we need to wait
Okay,
for maybe 5 minutes.
okay, after that we will start.
Iya nya, kabarnya.
Miss Melissa.
Shall we start?
Yeah, I think we can start.
Okay.
Okay, let me open this session.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you today? How are you?
Everything is fine, sir.
Everything is fine. Okay. Everyone, today we are having Miss Melissa to present a presentation to present something on the culture of Uzbekistan. So please pay attention to the presentation, your presentation, and then if you have questions, you can ask ask the questions of Miss Melissa later after the presentation. Or if you want to write your questions in the chat box, that will be okay. Then if you want to speak directly to Ms. Melissa, I will let you do that after the presentation. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's now listen to Ms. Melissa's presentation. Melissa, time is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ahmad Yusuf. Good afternoon, dear participants, dear students and teachers. So I'm very happy to see you on the second day of our short course. And today we'll talk about the culture of Uzbekistan. I guess the presentation will be interesting for you too. First of all, tell me please, can you see the slide number 1 where it's written culture of Uzbekistan? Is it visible for everybody?
Yeah, yes.
Yes,
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. So students, so today we'll talk about culture of Uzbekistan, but before moving to our culture, I want to clarify what is culture itself and why it's so important when we are studying foreign language. For this purpose, I will ask you to pay attention to the second slide. Here you can see the quotation by written by Liram, who is theorist of foreign language education and intercultural education. He told that when people learn a new language, they also learn its culture. And when they learn to use the language, they are learning to make conversation with other people from new cultural situation. That means when we are learning any kind of language, it's impossible to deny the factor of culture. So culture and the language are interconnected. Therefore, we are eager to seek some cultural elements of any new kind of culture and countries. Okay, second, okay, next slide. Here you can see another scientist model of culture. Henley compares culture with iceberg. That is why it's called iceberg model of culture. Why? Because as you see, iceberg consists of two parts. One of them is explicit, that is visible, that we can see on the sea. It's on the surface of the sea, but as we know, most major part of the iceberg is hidden. So that the culture is. For example, we can see any kind of nations, food, tradition, language, history, way of doing things that we see the culture is, but all these kind of categories are based on implicit things like the value of the nation, belief, vision of the world, presumption, way of thinking. So they play crucial roles in developing the culture. Most of them are just invisible. When we just come across this new culture, so we have to seek it. So when you search for it, when you get more knowledge about these kind of categories, you will understand culture of this nation much more better. And moving to our main topic. So today we'll talk about Uzbekistan's culture, some general information about our country. In this slide, you can see the place of our country in a globe map. First, you can see on a globe. Second, in the political map of the country. As you see, it is situated in Central Asia, in the middle of the Asian continent. So this is our country, and in an upper, at the top of the slide, you can see our national flag, and of course emblem of the country. So the emblem also represents our culture, the geographical situation of the country, so our main resources, and of course, as you see, there is special kind of bird. It also represents the culture. It was just derived from legend, from the historical legend of our country. It's just mystical bird that is called Homo. So general information about our country, as you see, the capital and largest city of Uzbekistan is Tashkent city. Official language is Uzbek. It's just our formal language. And we have got multicultural nations. So mostly in our country are Uzbeks. As you see in these slides, it's just given in percentage. More than 80% of population are Uzbek. 5% are Russian. We have Tajik, Kazakh, Karakalpak, Tatar, and other nationalities. So every year, and some kind of economic information is just depicted on this picture. And now let's move on from studying the culture of our country. So next slide. So when we talk about the culture, it's just connected with heritage of the country. So Uzbekistan is just has very long history. It's ancient country. That is why we have historical sites. Cultural heritage sites in Uzbekistan also included in UNESCO World Heritage List. For example, 4 cities are included in this list. As you see, number 1 is Bukhara city. It was included in such kind of list in 1993. In the picture, you can see one of the famous parts of the city, Bukhara. Then we have got a city called Shahrisabz, which is in Qashqadarya region, in Chankalai, in Khorasan, and Samarkand. So next slide, you can see their pictures. So also these cities were included in this World Heritage List in the following years. For example, Shahrisabz in 2000, Chankalai in 1990, Samarkand in 2001. So dear participant, this is a picture of one of the sightseeing of the famous city Samarkand. So tomorrow we will have about the lesson about tourism. So you will get full information about it. But briefly, this is a sightseeing is called Registan Square. It is very famous square. If I'm not mistaken, it was just it's been constructed in during 14th and 15th century, and still they are standing there, so representing our national architecture. So we can find interesting information about this too. Once Samarkand was the capital of the country, but nowadays it changed to Tashkent. So another city that is included into cultural heritage list of UNESCO is Shahrisabz. Its famous site of the sightseeing of Shahrisabz. It just wings of the palace, which was once called White Palace, in Uzbek we call Oksaroy. So it was the residence of famous king Timur. So nowadays we can see it only ruins, but it's just kept because so many centuries has passed. There was some kind of natural disasters like earthquakes, on, and wars happened in this kind of land, but still we have some kind of remains that represent, and it also included in the list of UNESCO because it's ancient historical site. The next one is Chankalai. It is a part of sightseeing that is situated in Khorasan region. So in the city of Hava. This city is called open air museum because almost all parts are still kept their architecture and different kind of sites. As you see, architecture, all of them is still, we can see like a fresh one. So when we talk about the culture, one inseparable part is of course the religion. In our country, it's Islamic country. It's our dominant faith, but of course, in our country, we respect all religions. All representatives of all religions are respected and have their own rights. Their rights just are protected by different kind of documents. And as you see, it's one of the famous mosque that is situated in capital city. So architecture is also beautiful of this one. Okay, another aspect of the culture, of course, traditions of our nation. So as you see, customs and tradition of Uzbek people have been forming for centuries. So they are distinctive, impressive, different. They are dating back to different epochs and religions. Initial formation of Uzbek culture, so we can find evidence that dates back to the 6th or 7th century BC. Okay, let's see some more photos of our traditions. In this slide, you can see national clothes of Uzbek nation. So number 1, so we have got 12 regions in Uzbekistan. Even national tradition differ from region to region. Each region has its unique way of doing some kind of things. For example, national clothing picture one represents the Bukharian style of Bukhara region. All these clothes are handmade, as you see, all these kind of golden things, needles, they are prepared by women. And so they are dancers, so dance and just decorating of the clothes is a part of Uzbek nation. The second picture represents special type of embroidery that is called Suzanne. Suzanne. So as you see, all of them are also handmade. Every needle is dyed with natural ingredients. The most interesting fact is that these kind of colors do not just disappear, do not vanish when you just bleach them or wash it. It's very historical way of handicraft that is used by people of our country. As you see, there are different kind of symbols. Some of them look like ordinary flower, others look like paper or pomegranate, like a different kind of fruit. Each of them has their symbolic meaning. So them represent the blossom, and so next, let's continue about our traditions. So over centuries, traditions and customs of Uzbek people remained almost unchanged despite the desire of many invaders. So they tried to impose the alien cultures. For example, the Arab had great influence on Uzbek custom and tradition through the expansion of Islamic throughout the Central Asia. Islam tradition very closely intertwined the Islamic beliefs and traditional local culture. They firmly settled in the north and minds of Uzbek people. So all these kind of invaders were just mixed. And nowadays we can see so harmonization of them. So centuries of custom tradition also the people are carefully maintained and passed on from generation to generation. For example, many Asian nations like first people Uzbek custom, they are related with family celebration, wedding and birth are still kept. So these events include rites and rituals involving parents, children, brothers, sisters, immediate and remote relatives, even neighbors and guests. Each one has its own role. Okay, Uzbek tradition, of course, are based on hospitality. So people just respect people. So they're hospitable, especially guests. Respect elderly. Collectivism we have got manifest especially vividly in mahallas. So response to age-old nation states. So mahalla is also unique thing that is defined in Uzbekistan. So in residential areas of our country, there is special division like mahalla. So people gather, help each other, and solve some kind of their problems there. So next part of the culture, I guess, it's local crafts. And we have different kind of applied art. So we have different traditional craft technique and local craftsmen, particularly to practice it till today. So, so natural resources are used, for example, silk, ceramics, wood and carvings, house players, metal carving, carpets. Each region of Uzbekistan has its different flavor in craft. The craft business relies on tourism for income. It also provides economic growth to the country. Okay, and it's a degree of art because of ceramic art, jewelry, embroidered clothes, painting, wood carving, local Uzbek dolls, and other decorative fabrics in this account. In this picture, you can see a local craftsman. It's carpenter making special tool for reading books. So in a and there is also a picture of our national clothes that is called Atlas. As you see, it is just prepared from the silk, and it's very famous among the people. So next slide. Here is some more example of local craft. In the picture number 1, you can see the piece of ceramics. As we told, each region has its own way of doing this kind of local craft. Some of them represent, if I'm not mistaken, Rishtan region from Fergana. It's a very famous place for decorating ceramic dishes in this kind of manner. There is also some. Okay. Next one again, ceramics. There is miniature ceramical sculptures. It looks like national people of Uzbekistan. They are characters, if I'm not mistaken, from folk, from the folk of our country. Folklore. Okay, again, example for our craft, local crafts. So, as you know, in the history, Uzbekistan was situated in the crossway of Great Silk Road. That's why, so it was influenced by other nations too. Okay. Next part of the culture, I guess, is just music. So music is a part of everybody's life in Uzbekistan. There are national instruments. Here in the picture, you can see some of them. So there is also tradition of instrument making from the wood. So as you see in this slide, there is given some name of national musical instruments like doira, rubab, so on and on. By using this instrument, classical Uzbek music is just being played. Okay, if we talk about art, next example of art is called miniature. Okay, the picture number one is just from the being painted in 15th, 14th, 15th century. So the art of miniature gives us information from historical period of this time too. In this just miniature, it's just representing the palace or some kind of governmental organization. What people are doing there, it's just decorated with some letters information in Arabic beyond. So there is also even it's small piece of art, but the architecture, everything is included in this piece of painting. This art is still kept nowadays. In the second picture, as you see, it's a part of famous museums in Tashkent that is called Timurid Museums, which is close to our university, by the way. It was built in 1993. Even in 20th century, still artists use this kind of style of drawing. This style of art is still kept. So walls of the National Museum are decorated with by this kind of miniature. And from all of them have their, for example, meaning. Some of them are derived from historical books. So next part is, of course, when we talk about culture, we shouldn't forget about the literature. In this slide, you can see famous, one of the prominent Uzbek writers and poets. Picture number one, as you see, it's just our great ancestors who made great contribution to Uzbek, not only literature, but the language of Uzbek language. At the period of time in 15th century, it was called Turkish language, Alisher Navai. He wrote, it's a period of time mostly people wrote in Persian language. It just was so popular among the country. But Alisher Navai, being representative of our culture, just thought that Turkish language is rich enough, and he just worked on Uzbek. He wrote lots of poems, and so using Uzbek language, so he made great contribution to Uzbek literature. So next one is Abdullah Qadri. As you see, he lived in 19th and 20th century. He just regarded as the first novelist in Uzbek literature. That is why we are still reading their books. They have just its own model. Our generation is studying from their books. Okay, when we talk about the culture, cuisine is also one part of the culture. In this picture, you can see national bread. So bread is important for Uzbek people. There are lots of kind of bread that is being cooked in our country. Every region has its own way of preparing bread. National custom and traditions are just related with bread. For example, when somebody is going to visit any kind of friend or relative, uh, of course, bread is taken. You have to bring the bread. Without it, it's impossible. So, next information about Uzbek cuisine. As you see, Uzbek cuisine is influenced by local agriculture, of course, as it's most nations. There is a great deal of grain farming in Uzbekistan, so breads, noodles are of importance of Uzbek cuisine has been characterized as noodle rich. Okay, one of the famous dishes in Uzbekistan is called palo or pho. It's a main course made with rice, piece of meat, great vegetables like carrots and onions. So palo has become part of our culture because some traditions are related with this kind of meal. For example, in wedding parties in the morning, there is a tradition to cook this kind of meal and gather with guests and consume this kind of meal. And this special tradition is called Oshnahor morning flow and served early between 6 and 9 a.m. in the morning. As you see, it will gather a large amount of guests and large amount of this kind of food will be prepared for this. The second one, I guess, it's about connected with tea. One of the steak in Uzbek nation is consumes tea in a great deal. So green tea is national hot beverage throughout the day. It doesn't matter, is it winter, is it summer? There is also a special place like called tea houses in Uzbek we call them chaykhana. So Japanas or tea houses were very important because where people are gathered. So in exchange of different kind of gatherings, and of course black tea is also used, but mostly in the in Tashkent region. So on and on. So in this kind of slide, you can see our famous food. Next, so students, cultural heritage. Of course, some elements of culture become cultural heritage. For example, intangible cultural values are regarded like meals, wedding, food festivals, seasonal festivals, even some type of sport. For example, we have got special type of sport that is called Uzbek Kuraj, moral management philosophy. Our great ancestors made great contribution to philosophy like Naqshbandi, Al-Bukhari. So Al-Bukhari has its own role in the world of Islamic religion because of his great works, At-Tirmizi, Maturidism, Shari, scientific knowledge of great ancestors like Al-Biruni, Khwarizmi. All of them were encyclopedic scientists. For example, Al-Biruni was the first person who created the globe, a small version of Earth in the Middle Ages. Al-Khwarizmi is regarded as father of nowadays mathematics. His books were used as main coursebook in many just university in the Middle Ages. Al-Farabi, in the West, he's famous by the name of Avicenna. So he's one of the first people who practices surgery. Even as a period, it was just banned. And his books, which were used as coursebook in many medical universities, even in Europe. He also made contribution to astronomy. Al-Farghani is one person who just constructed the tool that was measuring the river Nile in Cairo. Still, his construction is used in Cairo. Of course, another thing like history, historical people they have got like Amir Timur, he was a person who ruled the country. He just added so many territories into our country. Sahradam Babur, he was his ancestors, and he made an empire in India. And until so they lived there to discuss historical and religious heritage. So we have got famous places like Afrosio, British Rajasthan in Samarkand, Observatory, constructed by Nazarbayev, different kind of madrasa like historical mosque, Bukhara Archiva, that is open air museum. And of course, before Islamic Arabian Convention, we had another so religions, and still some their temples can be found in our country. So in Termes, there is that it was found like this temple, which is historical site. Okay. Also, these sites for tourism are also popular, like lakeside are called river banks, so on and on. So the cultural heritage that we just mentioned before is cities like Samarkand, Bukhara, Khiva, Shahrisabz, biosphere, Ugam, Chankalai, culture and traditional feel national meal like Smarak, and festivals are also included in the cultural heritage of UNESCO. And of course, when we talk about the culture of a country, it's impossible not to show you the picture of capital city. This is famous site of Tashkent. So, building of parliament, that's the Imam Mosque. Later I will show you one more. This is center of Tashkent, square Amir Timur. So our university is located nearby this statue. Okay, this is Holy Majlis. This is lower chamber of our parliament, and famous square, Independence Square. Okay, next sightseeing of Tashkent is Hasti Imam Mosque. Here is one of the famous version of Quran is kept. Quran that is written by Usman Khalifa. So students, so next slide, I guess it's the last one. There are some interesting facts about Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan is one of the two doubly landlocked countries in the world. So it's situated in Central Asia. We don't have direct so way to oceans, seas, and rivers. So okay, there is also all resources like gold reserve of Pakistan is ranked fourth in the world after South Asia, USA, and Russia. Okay, another product is Uzbekistan is one of the top 5 global producers of cotton. And of course, about our underground system. And Tashkent underground system has been called one of the most beautiful train stations in the world because each station is decorated uniquely. So all the stations try to be decorated with with traditional Uzbek nations according to the name of the station. And yesterday you wanted to see some fragment photos of university hour. So Tashkent State University is situated in the center of Tashkent. Picture 1 is taken above. We have got 2 buildings here, as you see. The building number 1 here on the left. It's just much more administrative building. The second one is here. So this is in the next picture. You can see second building. Here we have got different kind of classrooms. And this one below is the third building. It was just included to our university in recent years, if I'm not mistaken, within 10 years, because we have many students who study at university. So now I'm in this kind of third building in the second floor. So dear students, that's all with my presentation. If you have any questions, please, you can ask your questions about the culture, university, everything related to the culture of Uzbekistan.
Okay. Thank you so much for the nice presentation, Ms. Munsa.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmad Yusuf.
Yeah, very nice presentation on cultures of Uzbekistan. You have delivered some many things closely related to the culture, and maybe you have also answered our curiosity. Okay,
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen, students, do you have any questions? You can use the raise hand feature or write your question in the chat box. Hello, everyone. Please raise your hand. Or okay, we have got one question from Putri Anggreni. Hello, Putri. Can you hear me? Or hello, Putri. Hello.
Okay.
Yes,
there is a
sir.
question.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I have
Putri,
I
would
have
you
bad
like to
signal.
Okay. Can you still read your question yourself? Hello.
Okay, the question is in chat box, yes?
Yeah. I
Okay,
think he has problem with the internet connection.
Let me just, is there a culture, especially tradition, which is slowly fading due to globalization? Thank you for the question. So as I told before, even we are one country, there are 12 regions. So some tradition differ from region to region due to globalization, and especially, I guess, in a case of pandemic period. So wedding parties used to be very, how to say, people celebrated it with lots of people attended on it. Nowadays, it used to be less people in wedding parties. So I guess this is a change. And due to globalization, culture is not being faded. So some tradition becoming some practical for people, I guess. This introduction of
Okay. I think that is the culture which fades away because of the globalization becomes a problem in Indonesia. So many of our cultures are fading
really?
globalizations, and yeah, maybe it is still there, but it's not as massive as it used to be.
One more thing that
Even some people think that the culture is so old-fashioned. I think this is not a good idea to say that the culture is old-fashioned, because it should still exist, right? Because that is our own culture.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the question, Putri, and then thank you for the answer. Another question. Another student, maybe. You can use the raise hand feature and write the question in the chat box. Hello. Okay, by the way, Ms. Munisa, while looking for the question from the students, I read something about bread in your presentation. It reminds me of a friend of mine who likes bread so much. He's from Uzbekistan. He works at the Indonesian embassy in Uzbekistan. I also have heard something about Uzbek superstitions. I think it's also related. The superstitions are also related to bread. So can you tell me more about the superstitions related to bread?
So I'm not the person who believes in superstition, but I know one of them related to bread. So, for example, in the period of World War II or some kind of war, when a man went to the army or just went to the army, so women in the family give them a bread and to bite it and hang this kind of bread at the top of this room. And we're waiting when this person will come again. There was some kind of superstition with it connected with bread. And bread we just respect. So I think that's all.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Uh, by the way, I read something in the chat box. Have you heard about Uzbek pilau? I think this is from an Uzbek student.
Yes, it's
Uh,
also like student.
yeah, maybe what should I call you,
Genghis
Mr.
Khan. Genghis Khan.
Okay, Chinggis Khan. Would you like to share something about Uzbek pilau? Maybe you can turn on the camera and tell us about Uzbek
Okay.
pilau.
It was included in my just presentation. Now I will show you one of them. One picture.
Okay.
Pilau is national food. So let's clarify where is it. So in this picture you can find the pilau. It's in the middle. First and second picture. It's national food. It's made from rice, vegetables like carrots and
Okay.
onion. They maybe included some kind of peas, some spices. As you see in the second picture, the dish where pilau is prepared is very large.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. So that is food. I thought Uzbek pilau was not food. So now I know it's food. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think many Uzbeks like bread. Yeah.
Mhm.
That is maybe similar to our habit of eating rice in Indonesia.
Ah,
Yeah, because
okay.
friends used when I when I was taking my master's degree,
Mhm.
I always saw my friend who came from Uzbekistan, eating bread. So every time we had rice on our table, we had bread.
Okay, you like
Uh,
bread, yes?
is that? But by the way, I want to ask about the uh, farming. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Do you also have rice? A lot
Yes,
of rice? Yeah.
we have special region that is in the, if I'm not mistaken, it's in the horizon region. This place is just good place to grow the rice. Only in
Oh.
this region rice is grown. So we
Mm.
use it food.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So, but what is the main meal?
Main meal.
The main food, I mean, the main food in Uzbekistan. So people,
So,
yeah, like in Indonesia, we have to eat rice. If we don't eat rice, we haven't eaten yet.
really?
Yeah, even if we have, let's say, eaten, consumed, two slices of bread, and then we will say that we have eaten because we haven't eaten rice.
Okay. It's the same with our bread, I guess.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So most people eat bread. So nowadays there is different kind of cuisines in Uzbekistan. Most people prepare Turkish food, but national food also just cooked it when family during the family gatherings, almost on a daily basis. So we make people prepare from rice, different kind of vegetables,
Yeah,
so this kind of ingredients. There is also a question in chat boxes about holidays.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
From okay.
How did I sell it? Intan Putri, hello Intan Putri.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How do you celebrate? Do they celebrate? I got it there. Is there a difference before and after COVID pandemic? Okay, in our country we have different kind of holidays, so we can divide them into public holidays and religious holidays. So on public and religious, both of them, we have day offs. So there are no lesson, no working. So our Eid study is regarding as such kind of holiday. So it's just celebrated after Holy Ramadan month. So people usually visit their just relatives on this day. So cook special meals on that kind of day, and a day before we cook pilaf and give to our neighbors with different kind of national desserts. So it's a tradition in
Yeah,
our
yeah,
country. And before and after COVID pandemic, of course, during the COVID pandemic, most kind of mosques were closed because of not spreading the epidemic. but nowadays they are open. So all people try not to go to another relatives, not to visit them. But nowadays the situation a little bit okay. So we can go and visit our relatives. So that was a difference, I guess.
Okay, okay. Yeah, of course there is a change right after the
Yeah.
pandemic. I think pandemic, this COVID-19 pandemic has changed a lot of things, not only
Lot
in
of things.
Uzbekistan and Indonesia, but also
Yeah.
in other countries.
Yeah.
Okay, another question maybe. Okay, I have seen.
Yes, rising hand.
Okay, Dinda,
Dinda,
are
are you?
you? Hello, Dinda.
Yes, I want to ask, Uzbekistan is a doubly landlocked country. Does it influence the culture of Uzbekistan?
Culture of Uzbekistan. Thank you for
Yeah.
your interesting question. Okay, people used to live in this region for many centuries. As I told before, it was situated in crossway of a Silk Road, Great Silk Road. So maybe it was just influenced by other cultures at a period of time. But economy, also here, infrastructure is being developed nowadays too. So maybe some good sides of another culture were just mixed with other countries. So there is no, I guess, negative effect on any culture because of its landlocking. Maybe somehow there is no, it doesn't being influenced greatly by this kind of situation.
Yeah. Okay. It's double landlocked, right? There are only two countries you said which are which are known to be landlocked. Yeah. The first is Pakistan, and then the second one is what country? I show it in the presentation. Okay. Can you tell me more about the concept of being landlocked? I think some students here are still curious about the idea.
So being landlocked just means we have just borders with only countries like Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, so Turkmenistan. So we are bordering with countries itself in the Central Asia. There is no direct way to oceans nearby, for example, Great Seas. We have only one sea, that is Aral Sea, the closest one in the northern part of the country. So we have just people can travel only by air, by train. There is no how to say. The ships in our countries are not so popular. Also, products can be just delivered to the country by planes and train.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We are curious because we don't have it. Maybe this is also the first time that we have heard of concept of the concept of double landlock. Double landlock.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have another question? I think we still have 6 minutes left because our schedule should end at 2:30 Indonesian time. Okay, maybe one more question. Okay, one more question. Okay, room
Room
5. I
number
don't know
5.
who you are. Room 5. Hello, room 5.
Number 31.
I'm sorry, sir. I will change.
Hello. Hello, room 5. Room 5.
I guess she just changing her name.
Okay.
Cindy,
I think many more students are coming to ask questions. Okay. Do you think that it's okay to
yeah, it's okay.
exceed the time limit?
Okay, okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's answer the questions. Because room 5 is not here yet. Let's go to the chat box, and then after this, we will let Cindy and Rastika to.
Okay.
We'll let Aktivitas kita
welcome.
ask questions. Okay, Maria, thank you for the question. Could you please mention the variety of music genres in Uzbekistan? Genres.
Genres of music in Uzbekistan, of course, they have got classical music. In a slide, you have seen the national musical instruments by using them. So people play classic music. So just being one type of music is called maqam. It's very famous. If I'm not mistaken, it also was included in Unesco's cultural heritage, this type of music. So besides among young people, of course, it's just popular pop music, so modern music. So people just respect the classical one too.
Okay. Does Uzbekistan have a genre, a specific genre, which becomes its heritage? And then
Heritage,
known
yes.
worldwide?
Yes, we have got, it's called maqam, chash maqams. This is a special type of classic music.
Okay. Played all over Uzbekistan, or does it only belong to a particular place?
No, it's throughout Uzbekistan. It's
Okay,
popular.
it's played worldwide. Okay, thank you for the answer. Then Cindy.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I will ask, does Tashkent have certain days except for Islamic celebrations? For example, like special occasions that only exist in Tashkent?
You mean religious celebration, yes?
Oh,
Pardon, miss?
So what exactly? Some celebration is only in Tashkent?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. The celebrations other than the Islamic celebrations.
Islamic celebration. I guess so. We have got religion the same throughout the regions. So Islamic traditions are the same, not only in Tashkent but other regions too. For example, this kind of two holidays, Qurban, Eid, Al-Fitr. So this kind of two holidays are celebrated throughout our country, the same, not only in Tashkent. So what else we have got? And Fridays, there is also prayings. It's also not only in Tashkent, but in the whole country. There is no special so tradition only in Tashkent related to religions matters, but the whole country is the same.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, miss.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you too.
By the way, Miss Melissa, I remember one thing, which is probably different from Uzbekistan. In Indonesia, we have the habit of riding motorcycles every day. We also have that habit in Uzbekistan.
Motorcycles.
Because at the time when I was with my friend, who's from Uzbek, my friend was a bit surprised to see the fact that many Indonesians rode motorcycles, and I asked whether it was also custom there in Uzbekistan, and he said no, not many people ride motorcycles. They prefer cars. Is that true?
Yes, it's true. There are rarely we can meet people in motorcycles, so people prefer cars. There is nowadays a little bit traffic in the capital city, especially in the morning and of course in the evening when people just commuting from work to home or vice versa. So people prefer cars.
Okay. So it's true that
Interesting.
not many of you ride motorcycles, right? Yeah, it's different from Indonesia. In Indonesia, most people ride motorcycles, so we commute on bikes on daily basis.
Okay, and I guess it's like just connected with climate because they have just sunny days on summer, On spring and autumn, it will be a little bit cool. And in winter, I guess it's impossible because we have rainy and snowy days. It's hard to ride a motorcycle. It's much more better in
Yeah, yeah.
driving a car.
Okay. We have two more questions. Oh wait,
Ah,
three, I guess. Okay.
uh-huh.
I think we
Mhm.
will answer them all.
Okay.
First
About cotton, yes?
question is given by Anis Marcella. Does Uzbekistan export cotton to various countries? Or does Uzbekistan produce it itself? It's an object.
Okay, so cotton is just mainly produced for export. It's also people also use it for production of clothes, but mainly Uzbekistan exports it to various countries. Yes,
Yeah.
exporting purposes.
Yeah.
Nowadays there is a just decreasing number of production of cotton, so people can manage it if they want. It's not governmental, how to say, order.
And then
Okay.
from Muhammad Alfaullah,
Mhm.
where is the economic and cultural center of Uzbekistan? Is it only in its capital?
Now, okay, so every region is being developed nowadays. So capital is also developed, but it's not only economic center of the country. They have the region that is called Navai. That is famous for its just mines. So the gold mines and other mines are situated in the city. It's also regarded as economical center of the country. Besides, they have Autonomous Republic of Pakistan, which is 13 regarded as 13 region of Uzbekistan. It's also economic center. Almost all the how to say regions, our division is regions, so all of them has its unique cultural centers. Because as you see in Tashkent, we have also both modern buildings and ancient buildings. So we try to combine them. As the country develops, I guess the regions also are becoming economic and center on their own. There is airport in most kind of regions. International airports are being constructed there. So they are developing, not only Tashkent. There is also a question, what is economic and cultural scientific? Bukhara, Tashkent. No, Bukhara, as I just previously mentioned, Bukhara, Samarkand, so other regions are developing too.
Okay. Thank you very much for the answer. Khairul Anam, maybe this is the last question. I want to
About
ask about the
holidays.
Uzbeks celebrate New Year. I read an article that Uzbeks celebrate New Year in celebrations called Yang Yil. Explain what Yang Yil is.
So if we just translate the word Yang Year, it will be in English, Yang is new, year is year. So, yeah, New Year is regarded as a public holiday. It is just celebrated, but nowadays there is a tendency for people, some people who are just keeping religious perspective do not celebrate New Year, but still people have family gatherings on it. I guess it's just a holiday for young children where they just get presents, go to some kind of performances prepared by artists, actors of the theater. So it's just all the city is decorated, but it's up to the person to celebrate it or not. But still, we have a public holiday on this day.
Yeah. I think some people are still curious about the culture of Uzbekistan. We have one raising his hand. Maybe due to the time limit, we have to end this session and we'll meet again tomorrow. Before we end the session, can you please turn on the camera and let's have photo session.
So, Shahrazada Fatima Nadira, please, kameraylarni yoqinglar. Dilnura, Sadamir, group photo ochamiz. Nadira, Dilnura. Sudanir. Okay, Zulta, we have some. So Zulta, do you have Fatima? Ah, Fatima and Zulta, they are here.
Ready?
Mhm.
Okay. Page 1. I don't know which page you are in. Just smile before until I say. Okay, done.
Okay, so will be attendance list today too? Yesterday, or we will use yesterday's.
Yeah, Miss Dina. Should we use the attendance list?
Okay.
Yesterday's attendance list.
If I'm not mistaken, I had Celine
Yeah,
comment
Miss
about
Dina,
it.
hello. Hello, Miss Dina.
So is she online or not? So where was this one?
Hello.
I have a link for yesterday's. If you want, I can
Yeah,
share.
I think you can still use that attendance list.
Okay, let me just type in this one, chat box, this one.
Okay, it's here. Yeah.
Mhm. Thank you so much for organizing, for
Miss
attending.
Monisa, thank you so much, and I'll see you again soon.
Okay.
Tomorrow, guys, tomorrow we'll have another session at I forget what time. Maybe at 11 o'clock Indonesian time tomorrow.
In Uzbek time, it will be 2 o'clock in the
Oh, 2
afternoon,
o'clock.
I
Yeah,
guess.
so it's 4 o'clock. Yeah.
In 4 o'clock in your
Yeah,
time.
4 o'clock Indonesian time.
So my colleague Nigora, Miss
Okay.
Nigora, will deliver the lesson tomorrow. See you tomorrow, fall.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Oh,
See you
here is the link. Miss Ina, is it similar to the link that we had yesterday? Oh, I think it's a different link.
I
Can you
will
please
just
fill out the attendance, the new one, the new attendance? Oh, it's the same link. Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you so much. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Miss Munisa.
Mhm.
See you
Thank you.
tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Hello, Fatima. I can see you. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can you greet your friends in Indonesia? I'll spotlight you. Hello.
Can you
Yeah.
repeat? I can't listen.
You are muted. Your device is muted. Hello, you are muted. Fatima, yeah? What should I call you? Fatima or Fatima? Okay, don't forget to fill out the attendance list. Hello,
Hi.
Fatima. Hi.
Hello.
Can you say hi to your
Hi.
friends in Indonesia?
Hi. I am Fatima.
Okay.
I have my twin,
wait.
Papa.
Oh, okay. Mana jawab? Yeah.
Nggak bisa Inggris kayaknya, Pak.
Hi. Yeah, nice to have you here, Fatima. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Spasiba.
Okay, have you filled out the attendance list?
It's already done.
Hello, Khairul Anam. Hello. Are you from Uzbekistan?
Hello.
Are you
No,
from
I'm not
Tashkent?
from. I'm not from Uzbekistan. I'm from Indonesia.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. I'll end this meeting. See you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Bye-bye. Assalamualaikum.
Oke, thank you, sir. Waalaikumsalam. Papa.